Welcome to UT, arguably one of the most prestigious universities in the South. With a sense of tradition like no other, and the progressing chase to become a top 25 public university, it's easy to understand why students love this university. However, that's not always the case. Numerous stories and countless rumors have gone around that make the African American minority feel a little unwelcome at times. Here's why. For the fall semester of 2015, UT has a total of 21,863 undergraduate students. Of that almost 22,000, 17,200 are white. That's almost 80%. African Americans barely represent 1% of the UT undergraduates with only 1,518 students. Sounds intimidating, right?
My name is Jamesia Terry, and I'm a senior here at UT.
My name is Michaela Clausen, and I am a senior at the University of Tennessee.
My name is Alfred Farrell, and I'm currently a senior here at the University of Tennessee.
Me personally, I haven't had any, I would say, super racist things happen to me, but because I am really involved here on campus, I can see a divide in my different leadership positions that I hold. Here at UT, I mean, white students are asked to do way more. They're trusted with more assignments, whereas when it comes to me, in this particular office that I worked in, I got kind of the leftover things left to do. And I don't know if that was because they just trusted those students more, or it was because it was more of them, or just because I sucked at my job. And so I feel like it was a racial thing, not necessarily to put me down, but because that's who they were comfortable with. I mean, I'm more comfortable with black people than I am with other different races. So I think that, but as far as like me being president of the NAACP, I have had students that come to me and tell me, Jamesia, or they'll ask me like, Jamesia, was this racist or was this not racist? Or things of that nature, little things, not anything drastic. But as far as like, I've been affected by Yik Yak here at UT when we did the Black Lives Matter protest last semester. I was a part of that, and although the comments weren't directed, like didn't say, Jamesia, you go slip on a banana, Jamesia, go back to the cotton fields, I did feel emotionally affected by that, because those are students here at UT using that, and then just coming back on campus the next day, you could barely even look people in their faces, because you're like, okay, are you a covert racist or what? So,
I mean, of course. I mean, if you act like racism doesn't exist, you're only lying to yourself. You're not lying to anybody else. I mean, you're not. I mean, come on now. We know racism still exists, but it's just kind of how you deal with it. For me personally, yeah, I had a couple of experiences where I'd be walking somewhere. Usually in my younger years, my freshman and sophomore year, I'd be walking somewhere and you get a couple of drunk guys passing by, and they'll scream out, F you nigger, keep walk a little faster nigger, or something like that. And I mean, you just deal with it and you keep going and you just don't let it bother you. I mean, that's everywhere. Speaking to like the comfort level of comfort on campus, over the last 2 years that's changed, I believe, with Twitter and everything, and with so many crimes and videos surfacing on the internet and everything. It's kind of creating a level of uncomfort. Probably the most uncomfortable I felt last year was after the SAE in Oklahoma incident. It's kind of created an awkward vibe with campus, I would say. And so over the last 2 years, yeah, I've experienced more just like uncomfortness, I guess is the best way to put it, than I did my first 2 years, which is probably should be the opposite, I guess. But
Things like, oh, well, you talk black. And I was like, what? Like, how do I talk black? And that still happens a lot. And they're like, oh, Michaela, why do you hang out with the black kids? Oh, why are you involved in the Black Cultural Programming Committee? And it's kind of like, I guess that's what I'm not comfortable with, but that's what I grew up with. Like, I grew up around, I came from Antioch, so I stayed with my Antioch friends. And it's kind of disheartening when people say, why are you with the black kids? And I'm just like, what?
I'm proud to use social media as a way for me to get my voice out there, and also a way for other people, because not a lot of people are very vocal, and so they use social media as a means to communicate like how they feel. But I also feel that you're supposed to take that next step and not just say like on social media, like being an advocate. I mean, that's great. I mean, the biggest movement happening right now, the Black Lives Matter movement, started via Twitter. So I'll be crazy if I said, stay away from it. But it's a matter of starting at the phone and then going beyond the phone. So me personally, I do use that. It's the bomb. Like you have to use it literally because everybody uses it, and so it helps.
So, in regards to whites, so yeah, I feel very uncomfortable to answer your question. Yeah, I hate it. Half the time, usually I just keep my opinion to myself, not just because of white people, but because of my own. Now it's like with this big Twitter uproar, if your opinion does not represent the one of the masses, you're wrong. Like there's no difference of opinion. Now you have to be one-sided with your opinion. And if you're thinking in a direction that's different from the masses, you're wrong, you're crazy, you don't stand up for your race. Your other race is like, so now we gotta be closed-minded. And don't get me wrong, like anything that's happened to any one of those people you named is terrible. But I mean, I still keep an open mind. I say, hey, look at my race. We're not 100%, we're just not handling every issue the correct way either. It's some racist black people. I don't know why now we feel like we're the ultimate victim. Like now that, don't get me wrong. It's some tense area like between blacks and whites. You feel it even on social media. You see the tweets. You go hashtag anything black or black people or white people, you see stuff. I mean, it's there. It's definitely some tension there. And social media has, I tell anybody, it's heightened the awareness of what's going on. But at the same time, I don't know how much good it's doing either. So.
I've heard these stories. I've heard at campus where just this semester actually, there was kind of my RA was tweeting about a situation that occurred about, she wasn't the victim at all, but a truck went by a group of students walking home and just yelled the N-word at them. And I've heard of these instances, and I never believed that it would happen. And I mean, I was called an N-lover just because I hang out with black people sometimes. And I was like, that's not only do I only hang out with black people, but I hang out with everybody. That's not even, I don't know. And it's kind of really like disheartening, and I don't know, like to say that that's happened to me, but like not the same, like not directly, if that makes sense.
Because if we were all one color, one race, and you didn't see anything, the world would be dull.